gets 25 likes, part 4 will come out.
Oh god, I look terrible. Welcome guys to part 4 of the Beatles Iceberg. Thank you guys for the support. I just want to do a quick reminders that this iceberg is not mine. I don't know how long this iceberg is gonna last. It's a pretty big iceberg, so we'll see how long. Hold on.
Stop it. Get some help.
But yeah, guys, if you have any more recommendations or tips down in the comments, I will read them. Chris Seven or something for making this, and I'll link it down in the description. It's from icebergcharts.com, I believe so. But yeah, let's get into the iceberg, guys. Julia Lennon. Julia Lennon, formerly Stanley, was born on March 12, 1914, and she was the mother of John Lennon. She was married to Alfred Lennon, and John was born during their marriage. However, due to complaints of Liverpool's social services by her eldest sister, Mimi Smith, Julia relinquished care for her son to Mimi. Following this, she had a daughter after an affair with a Welsh soldier, but familial pressure led to baby's adoption. Later, Julia had 2 daughters, Julia and Jackie, with John Bobby Dickens. Despite never officially divorcing her husband, Julia chose to live as a common-law wife of Dickens after the remainder of her life. She played a significant role in John's musical career, teaching him how to play the banjo and the ukulele. John often stayed overnight at her and Dickens' home during his teenage years, maintaining almost daily contact with her. But tragically, on July 15, 1958, Julia was fatally struck by a car driven by an off-duty policeman near her sister's residence at 251 Menlove Avenue. John was deeply affected by her death and expressed grief through several songs, including Julia and Mother. The Plastic Ono Band. The Plastic Ono Band emerged as a rock ensemble in 1969, initiated by John and Yoko as an extension of their collaborative and solo projects rooted in their 1968 Fluxus conceptual art endeavor of the same name. Following their artistic partnership that began in 1968, Lennon and Ono tied the knot in 1969 and collectively decided to attribute their forthcoming venues to the Plastic Ono Band. Characterized by a flexible lineup, the band featured a revolving door of talented musicians including Eric Clapton, Klaus Vormann, Alan White, Billy Preston, Jim Kepner, Keith Moon, Delaney and Bobby and the Friends, and Lennon's former Beatles bandmates George and Ringo. Following Lennon and Ono's relocation to New York in 1971, they collaborated with the Elephant's Memory under the name Plastic Ono Elephant's Memory Band. Lennon's collaborative efforts continued under various similar names until 1974. From 2009 and 2015, Yoko and her son Sean Lennon spearheaded a fresh iteration of the group, known as the Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band, marking a revival of the band's spirit and ethos, even after 29 years since Lennon's tragic passing. Paul's Kanye West collab. Paul and Kanye collaborated on several songs, most notably Only One and 4-5 Seconds. Only One is a heartfelt ballad that Kanye wrote from the perspective of his late mother, with McCartney on keyboards and backing vocals. 4-5 Seconds features Rihanna alongside Kanye and McCartney, and is a stripped-down acoustic track with a catchy melody. The Traveling Wilburys. The Traveling Wilburys were a celebrated British-American supergroup that thrived from 88 to 91. The band's illustration lineup included Bob Dylan, George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Rob Orbison, and Tom Petty. Renowned for their roots rock sound, they are often hailed as perhaps the biggest supergroup of all time. Based in Los Angeles, the Traveling Wilburys mesmerize audience with their fusion of rock, country rock, folk rock, and roots rock genres. Under their Warner Bros. Record label, they left a mark on the music scene during their brief yet impactful tenure. In addition to the core members, the Traveling Wilburys occasionally featured additional musicians such as Jim Keltner, Donnie Harrison, Gary Moore, Ian Wallace, Jim Horn, Ray Cooper, Alex Orbison, and Roy Orbison Jr. The Beatles invented heavy metal. The Beatles played a significant role in the evolution of rock music, but it's a stretch to say they invented heavy metal. While they experimented with distortion, aggressive guitar riffs, and loud instrumental songs like Helter Skelter Revolution, their style doesn't fit squarely within the genre of heavy metal. Heavy metal as a distinct genre emerged in the late 60s and early 70s with bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, who incorporated elements of blues, psychedelia, and hard rock into a heavier, more aggressive sound. The Beatles influenced many musicians, including those in the heavy metal genre, but attributing the invention of heavy metal solely to them would overlook the contributions of other influential bands and artists. Love. Love is a soundtrack remix album featuring music recorded by the Beatles, launched on my birthday, November 17, 2006. It presents a compilation of music remix as a mashup for their Cirque du Soleil show Love. Produced by George Martin and his son Giles Martin, the album offers a fresh musical experience, condensing the entire Beatles music journey into a condensed period. Putting the entire Beatles musical journey into a condensed period. Remarkably, Love marked George Martin's final album as a producer before his passing in 2016. Rest in peace. Free as a Bird and Real Love. Free as a Bird and Real Love are two songs released by the Beatles in the mid-90s, which were based on demo recordings by John. These demos were completed in the late 70s and served as the foundation of the posthumous releases. Rooftop Concert. On January 30th, 1969, the Beatles staged an impromptu concert on the rooftop of their Apple Corps headquarters in London. Joined by guest keyboardist Billy Preston, they performed a 42-minute set until the Metropolitan Police intervened due to noise complaints. This rooftop performance marked the band's final public appearance. They played 5 new songs, with crowds gathering in the streets and on nearby rooftops to listen. The event concluded with Get Back and John Lennon's humorous remark,
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of the group and ourselves, and I hope we pass the audition.
The entire concert was captured on film and audio. Later featured in the documentary film Let It Be and the 2021 series The Beatles Get Back. And I'm still very hyped for Let It Be to be released on May 8th. I can't wait. The Threedles. In 1994, the 3 surviving Beatles and Yoko reunited for the final time to work on the completion of the 2 unfinished Lennon songs, Free as a Bird and Real Love. These songs were released as part of the Anthology project, which consisted of a documentary series and a book chronicling the history of the Beatles. Anthology. The Beatles Anthology is a comprehensive project featuring a TV documentary, a 3-volume album set, and a book chronicling the history of the Beatles. Members Paul, George, and Ringo, along with interviews of John Lennon, contributed to the project. The documentary series premiered in November of 1995, followed by expanded versions on VHS, Laserdisc, and DVD. Using interviews and archival footage, the series provides a detailed account of the band's journey. The accompanying book, released in 2000, complements the documentary with quotes from interviews. Stuart Sutcliffe. Stuart Sutcliffe was an early member of the Beatles and a talented artist. Born in 1940 in Scotland, Sutcliffe joined the band in 1960 as their bassist, despite having limited musical experience. He played with the group during their formative years in Hamburg, Germany, but eventually left the band in 1961 to pursue his passion for art. Sutcliffe tragically passed away in 1962 at a young age of 21 due to a brain hemorrhage. Despite his short time with the Beatles, Sutcliffe remains an important figure in their history, remembered for his artistic contribution and his role in shaping the band. For example, their haircuts. 8 Days a Week film. The Beatles' 8 Days a Week in their touring years is a documentary film directed by Ron Howard, released in 2016. The film explores the Beatles' career during their touring years from 62 to 66, spanning from their early performances at the Cavern Club in Liverpool to their final concerts in San Francisco. It premiered theatrically on September 15, 2006 in the UK and the US, followed by streaming on Hulu on September 17. The documentary received numerous awards and nominations, including nods for the Best Documentary at the British Academy Film Awards and Outstanding Documentary or Non-Fiction Special at the Primetime Creative Art Emmy Awards. Christmas Time is Here Again. Christmas Time is Here Again is a Christmas song by the Beatles, originally recorded for their 5th fan club Christmas record. Credited to all 4 members of the band, it features a blues-based backing track and double-track vocals sung by the Beatles, George Martin, and Victor Spinetti. The song's lyrics mainly consist of the title refrain repeated across 9 verses. Despite its release in December of 1967, Christmas Time Is Here Again remained officially unavailable for decades. A planned release in 1984 was scrapped after the abandonment of the Beatles' album sessions. It finally saw a shortened release in 1995 as the B-side to Free as a Bird. The original 67 version resurfaced in the Christmas Records, a limited edition 2017 box set containing the band's original Christmas records. r/Beatles Circle Jerk. I don't really go on Reddit, but as far as I can tell, it's just a place where Beatles fans go talk and share their memes about the Beatles. And just the name, oh my god, I know why. I know why. I know why. Absolute Madman Image. The John Lennon The Absolute Madman meme is an internet phenomenon that showcases a photograph of John walking in a whimsical manner alongside the street with his wife, Yoko. The image is often accompanied by the caption, The Absolute Madman, and it's gained popularity on 4chan's music board. I don't know where he was going in this photo, but it's just a funny photo. Ringo and his All-Starr Band. Since '89, Ringo Starr has embarked on tours with 14 iterations of his All-Starr Band, a concept devised by producer David Fishoff. The band's lineup varies depending on the availability of musicians and stars' preferences, which each member considered a star in their own right. Over the span of 3 decades, the All-Starr Band has maintained a consistent touring schedule. They recently performed here in Vegas and I'm so mad I couldn't go. During performances, Ringo typically sings 10 to 12 songs, including hits from his time with the Beatles and his solo career. Additionally, each member of the All-Starr Band performs 2 to 3 of their own popular songs during the show. Although the band does not create original music, several live albums featuring their performances have been released. Alan Klein. Alan Klein was an American businessman known for his aggressive negotiation tactics that reshaped industry standards for compensating recording artists. He was the founder of ABKCO Music and Records Incorporated. Klein revolutionized the music business by securing lucrative deals for his clients, starting with one-hit rockabilly acts like Billy Knox and Jimmy Bowen in the late 50s. He then moved on to manage Sam Cooke before eventually taking on the monumental task of managing both the Beatles and the Rolling Stones simultaneously, along with many other artists. Klein's influence made him one of the most powerful figures in the music industry during his time. Klein's methods led to controversy and legal battles, particularly with the Rolling Stones. The band accused Klein of withholding royalty payments, misappropriating the publishing rights to their own songs, and neglecting to pay their taxes. Additionally, Klein faced legal troubles with his own, including a conviction in the 80s for making a false statement on his tax return, in which he served 2 months in jail. The Dirty Mac. The Dirty Mac was a temporary supergroup organized by John Lennon in December 1968, consisting of Eric Clapton, Keith Richards, Mitch Mitchell, and Lennon himself, credited as Winston Lecthigh. The band was formed for a one-off performance on the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus. During their set, the Beatles performed Lennon's Beatles composition Year Blues and Whole Lotta Yoko. Woman is the N-word of the world. Woman is the N-word, hard R of the world. It's a song by John and Yoko with Elephant's Memory from their 1972 album Sometime in New York City. Released as the only single from that album in the US, the song sparked controversy at the time due to the use of the N-word in the title. The title and lyrics were intended to draw attention to the plight of women and the discrimination they face, drawing a parallel between their treatment and the historical oppression of African Americans. The Beatles Get Back. The Beatles Get Back is a 2021 documentary series directed and produced by Peter Jackson. It delves into the making of the Beatles' 1970 album Let It Be, originally titled Get Back, and primarily utilizes previously unused footage and audio recordings from their original sessions, which were initially captured for and repurposed in the 1970 documentary by Mitchell Lindsay Hogg. The series has a total runtime of nearly 8 hours, divided into 3 episodes, each spanning about 1 week of studio time during their recording process, covering a total of 21 days. Evident in hits like Wonderwall and Don't Look Back in Anger. Noel Gallagher, the band's primarily songwriter, often cited the Beatles as a major influence on his approach to songwriting. Additionally, Oasis embraced a rebellious and charismatic image resistant of the Beatles' rock star personas.
And you've never denied that the huge influence that the Beatles have had on you, and you like to maintain that feeling about your music.
Yeah, I love the Beatles, you know, what can I say? I'm not going to hide it. I love them. They make me happy, they make me, you know. And I think they're the best and still are. And I think to learn, if you're going to be as good, you've got to learn from the best, and they're the best.
James Bond help intro. And this concludes part 4 of the Beatles Iceberg. This took so long to edit. I literally recorded the whole entire thing 3 weeks ago, so almost a month. And now I just finished editing it. I don't know why it took a long time. Procrastination in school, but it's finally summertime. Let's go! But if this hits 30 likes, part 5 will come out. Thank you guys for the support, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I tried upping up the editing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the update, guys. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!